Little different note here, but what if partners have mismatched libidos? And so one person wants sex more than the other. Generally speaking, what we often see is it's often more the vulva owning human who can have a lower sex drive, at least after the lust phase, where in the lust phase, the beginning part of the relationship, everything's all new and sparkly. And whereas later their sex drive is more like responsive as opposed to spontaneous, like all of a sudden I'm super turned on, just randomly walking down the street. I want to like grind on the sidewalk. So what do you do though if that is there? And I have also seen it switch too, by the way. I have seen men with lower libidos than their partners too. But what do you do about it?
When it's a case of the guy has a lower libido than her, the solution is actually very, very easy. Like it's typically like his diet's screwed up, his testosterone levels are low. It's biological. There's some really easy biological fixes, biological and like diet and lifestyle fixes that will get him back on track. That is actually if he does find his partner attractive still, as in like she hasn't, I don't know, like she's maybe she was like athletic when he first met her and now she's gained a bunch of weight and so he's lost attraction to her. That kind of makes sense. But if it's purely like a sex drive plummeting thing, okay, we can fix that very easily for a guy with diet, lifestyle changes. That's not too complicated. The other scenario, the other way around, where the woman is no longer interested in having sex with her partner, I actually think it's way healthier when the woman is lusting after him even more than he's lusting after her. That's actually the ideal scenario, I think, because she's just constantly chasing it, and then she will orgasm more intensely. The bond will be better. I think there's just so many advantages there. But so how do we fix it when she doesn't want it from him anymore? Well, the harsh reality, I think, is that there's a couple of reasons why a woman stops wanting to have sex with her. Let's say it's a long-term partner, like an actual husband or wife and a boyfriend or whatever, like long-term. She's either lost respect for him entirely, right, which is very, very common, or she's found somebody else that she is more attracted to outside of that relationship. So let's just assume that it's the first one. She no longer sees him as her best sexual option. She no longer sees him as a sexually attractive man anymore. And I personally think the only real way to fix this is through, and this is going to sound odd, so I might need to elaborate a bit more, but I think the only way to fix this is actually through jealousy. And women will need, if a woman no longer finds a man that she previously found attractive, she did have sex with him before, she did find him sexually attractive at some point, and now she does not. I think the only real way to spark that up again is for her to see other women, or at least not even necessarily see, but for her to assume and suspect that there are other women who are interested in him now. And that would be, maybe that means he starts casually talking to all the waitresses and every woman that he works with, every woman in their social circle. He starts subtle, not necessarily directly flirting with them, but like is a cheeky, cocky kind of guy again with women that she sees around him. It could be him going to a strip club and coming home smelling of perfume and not actually doing a damn thing, not cheating on her at all. And I'm not saying he has to cheat on her, but he comes home smelling like perfume now all of a sudden. She gets a bit curious and suspicious. You'd be surprised how quickly she starts jumping his bones again. The women's like attraction and women's like sexual arousal is really, really intimately keyed in to this concept of what we call pre-selection. This idea that women typically want to have sex with men who other women want to have sex with. They don't want to have sex with men that no women want to fuck. So it's a case of like the hungry don't get fed when it comes to sex with men.
I've totally seen this. One example would be like if there is, with a group of women, or we'll say like 5 of us are all single, and there's just a guy over there, and one of us is like, that guy's really hot. And all of a sudden, all of them are like wanting him. Yeah,
frenzy.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
So which we could actually like play with that, mind fuck our friends. Like that guy's really hot, only because like he's really my friend, and I want him to get laid. And she's like, oh yeah, he actually is. And there's so much more to that, like what hotness means and attraction means. But I also feel like what you're speaking to is the NRE, new relationship energy vibe of like, because it feels good I think for most people to feel wanted and desired by other people, even if it's not our partner, it doesn't mean we have to do anything with that. But there's something about like that kind of thing, or also the safety thing. When I feel so safe with you, which is great, I want to feel safe. Like I got you. So that's not that sexy.
There's no desire left.
Yeah.
Everything's as you started this interview with Stirling, you talked about the monotony of, especially in long-term relationships, when things are predictable and the equation's simple, right? Esther Perel's equation, it's like attraction plus obstacle equals desire.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to create some obstacles. The obstacles could be that hot server that your partner's talking to, and you're like, wait, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you talking to her? What about me? And then there comes the desire to like,
you want to go home
and
yeah.
fuck the shit out of
you. We need to get
now.
the check right now. Yes.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, if you're a woman out there, let's say a vulva owner, I know that hormones do play a huge role in libido, and that's something that can dip and curve and change. And so sometimes it's not just your fault or your partner's fault if you like are not feeling sexually aroused by them. It's not their fault either. Sometimes it's just hormones, and there's so many options. We've done so many shows on ways to sort of mitigate any shifts in libido, especially if you're a person owning a vulva, which I can speak from. But I know a lot of penis owners too, when they get older, they're like, wait, I still am so attracted to my partner. I just like my dick's just not working like it used to. And it's like, yeah, there's so many options. Your testosterone's probably low, like you talked about, Stirling. Mm-hmm. So, and the same does go for vulva owners. And then birth control can play a factor. And that's a thing that can really fuck up your libido. And what you said about the respect piece, even though it might be offensive on some level, it's not to me, because once I lost respect for my partner in a relationship, in a long-term relationship, I remember, not the day, but I remember the timing. I was like, wow, we're really fucking done here. Like, this is like, I don't respect you anymore. It was really like eye-opening for me. And I didn't have any desire to have sex with him, and nothing changed about my desire. I still wanted to fuck, but I was like, my respect was gone for him.
You don't want to fuck him.
I did not want to fuck him.
Yeah.